Hi guys, I wanted to do a quick video on TinkerCAD. We sort of had a play around with it the other day, but I thought I just sort of might run through a bit more in more detail about how it works, what it is. So TinkerCAD is basically a free online 3D CAD modeling package. CAD stands for Computer Aided Design. Now, first thing after you log in, this is the screen you get. I've done a few models, so yours might not have as many. It is a web-based thing, so if it's a bit slow, it's probably because it's talking to the internet. Most CAD packages you'll download onto your computer and it'll be quite quick, but because it's free and because it's on the cloud, it does take a bit of time to save. So be aware of that. Now, these are my designs. Now, some of these things I don't know about, but you can have a look at some stuff that other people have designed, and you can download and play with them if you want. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to go into say, creating your own design. So click on this button to create your own design, and eventually it will bring up a brand new empty model in a 3D work plane. There we go. So first thing you'll probably notice is, I'll put myself up here. Okay, this work plane screen here. So there's a few things you can do. If you hold down your right button, it pans around the different view. Okay, so it'll rotate. That's called a rotate. Now the scroll wheel zooms in and out. If you hold down the scroll wheel, pans up and down, left and right. Okay, and left button doesn't do anything for the window. Anyway, you can do if you use this box up here, and it is quite handy because if you wanted to look just from the top, you can click on that and it'll view from the top. If you want to look just from the front, click on that and you can see the front view. Okay, so that's how you rotate views around. These are some more view tools that you can use. That's the home view, which will just go back to the original plane that it was in. Fit all in window, zoom in, zoom out, and this is called an orthographic view. So depending on how much you've done in VCD, you might, this is called perspective. Okay, so it sort of goes into a point, and orthographic's just straight lines, so right angles. Okay, so this is a bit more realistic to look at. Okay, so let's move over to our basic shapes. So TinkerCAD works on basic shapes. One of the frustrations I have with this program is that you can't create your own lines and it's called extrude. So in a normal 3D package, you'd draw something and then you'd drag it up and create your own shapes. But this one, I can't seem to do that, which is a bit frustrating. I've used 3D modeling packages over the years that have been able to do that. And, I guess it's just one of the things that keeps it simple. Anyway, so you're using all these basic shapes here: boxes, cylinders, pyramids, text. Okay, you can have a look through these, and there's all these different options, different shapes. Okay, you can create. One of the good things is you can, so let me just put a box out. So just drag something out to get it out there. And these shapes do have sort of options that you can sort of try. So radius, radii, steps. I don't know what that does. I'm not sure what that does, but look, anyway, something to play around with. And there, once you've, okay, so there, you can move it around. You can even, I think if you put the ruler on, if you click on that, you can even directly change, so you don't have to drag. So it's built on dragging shapes out and rotating them and moving them in space just quite freely. But when you get down to really modeling stuff, you almost need to say, I wanted to change that to 15. Okay, so it's good that I put a number in there. So these blue lines indicate the height, width, and depth, length, width, and height of the object. And I believe these green ones indicate the distance from that ruler line there. Okay, so it's sitting on here. You can raise it by this little arrowhead here. If you pull that up, that will raise it, and then it'll give you a distance off the work plane. So that's that 13. You can edit that directory as well. So say I only wanted that 10. There's no units actually. Okay, you can edit that directly as well. So that's sitting up off the work plane there. You can rotate stuff. So there's the 3 degrees of rotation. There's the other one. Okay, so say I wanted to spin this around. I find that little rotation. That's that arrow there, and I can depending on where you want it, it snaps to 25 degrees or 22.5 degree snaps. But if you drag it out, you can snap to single degrees. And I think if you even go further, no, it goes to single degrees there. Okay, so snaps to 20 to those ones there, or you can drag it out and make it a bit more finer. Okay, so if you wanted to rotate something, wanted to turn it 180 degrees, let's say you wanted to flip it horizontally to vertically, sorry, yeah, you grab that one and you go, I want to flip 90 degrees. Okay, so now that's sitting like that. This happens to be sitting underneath the work plane. If I wanted to sit exactly on the work plane, if you have a look, -1, we want exactly 0. Okay, so it works on a grid system as well, so it's snapping to one unit grids. Okay, now I just want to explain one more thing. So creating your own shapes can be a bit tricky in this. So I just want to explain one more thing with these. You have an option of solid or hole. Okay, so say I wanted to create a hole through this object here. Okay, so I've got my cylinder. Okay, I've got a cylinder here, but I don't want to. I want to use this as to take away a hole, to drill a hole through this thing here. So I'd select hole like that. Okay, so it shows a sort of a grade a version of that cylinder. Now I want it to be sort of 90 degrees. Okay, now if I look around, you have to place it where you want it. Now this can be tricky. Okay, what I recommend if you wanted to place this somewhere perfectly, you need to have a look at a couple of different views. So if I put it on the front view, okay, so it's sort of, okay, I can move that, all right, and let's have a look. Okay, and if I want to put it up a bit, I can raise it, move it across. Okay, so what I've got there is a, oops, maybe tricky to work with. So it's still sitting, it's not quite in there, but it's about where I want to put it. Okay, and this is where I turn it. Okay, I'll probably put it on my left view, and then I can move it through my object, so like that. So let's have a look at that again. So what I've got is a solid object with a hole through it. Now this is just it's like a phantom sort of hole. It's not actually, hasn't actually done anything. It's just two objects. One happens to be a hole, one happens to be a solid. Now to get that to be actual hole, what you have to do is use this grouping tool. Okay, so you drag, okay, and it's a window, marquee they call it, over both these objects, and you actually group them together. So when you group them, it kind of works like, I don't know if you remember the Pathfinder tool in Illustrator. It's like a subtraction. So you can think of this hole as a negative solid, and when you subtract that from this actual solid, and I'll do that now, okay, it sort of doesn't look immediately like it's done anything, but it's actually put a hole through it, okay, the shape of that cylinder. Okay, so that's how you build objects. You can add other objects. So say I wanted to put a pyramid on here for some reason. Can be a bit tricky to line up. You have to do that process I did before. Okay, so moving these things like that. Might put it up a little bit higher. Okay, depending how well you want to do these things, you need to move them around and look at them in various different views. So see, if I wanted that perfectly straight, it's not actually that good, and depending on where I'm looking at it. Okay, so what I've got there is two solid shapes. Okay, one red one with a hole in it, and then I've got this pyramid stuck on there. So say I just wanted to make that one shape, because you'd actually have to make this one shape before you do any 3D printing. Okay, everything has to be bound together. So select everything, okay, and again you group it. Okay, so it should take a little time, and there it goes. So that's one shape now. So that's how you create different objects. Okay, your own objects in TinkerCAD. You can ungroup stuff. You can flip it. So let's see what flip does. What does flip do? Not sure what that does. Anyway, that would flip it around an axis or something like that. I haven't used that one. So there's tools to duplicate, so copy things, delete things, so copy and paste. And now you can turn the work plane or ruler. I'm not exactly sure, but ruler lets you input values for something like this. It shows me where everything is on the work surface there. So yeah, one other thing I will show you. There's other things here. There's plenty of shapes you can play with. Some of them are quite cool. Have a look at the community shape generators and featured shape generators. Text is good. I think I'm going to give you a design task with some text. And what I will show you is the export button. Okay, so this is in the design process I showed you before. Exporting, you need to make it into a what's called an STL file. Okay, so depending on how many shapes you've got in there, probably just one shape is a good idea. So let's just go with one shape for now. Selected shape, everything in design, it's up to you, one or the other. STL, okay, so it's for 3D printing. Use that, and it will ask you to name it. So what I'd like you to do, it just downloads it because it's off the internet. It downloads it. So if you show in folder, okay, it'll have a version of that file in your folder. You need to save that on your network drive and get it to me somehow, probably on a USB or something. Yeah, so have a play around with that. I haven't decided on a design task yet. Talk about that tomorrow. But yeah, that's how TinkerCAD works. Yeah, there's all sorts of things here. Snap to grid. You can edit grid, so you can change all these things. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make simple objects. Bye for now.